Hi everybody, Lemony Vengeance here, and I wanted to get up close and personal with my latest version of the Xbox 360 to JAMMA box that I make. As you can see, it's a little bit smaller than it has been in the past. It also has a little bit more features. Uh, let's start with video and audio input. As you can see, this is wired up for a Euro SCART cable. Rather than sacrificing a SCART cable inside the box, I put a SCART socket on it, as you can see. That way you can, it reduces the cost to get to you because it's implied that you will purchase your own. It's bolted onto the side, so it's not going to move. You'll also notice that I extended the JAMMA pins a little bit further. We had some complaints from people who have cabinets with deeper JAMMA sockets, like egret 1 or egret 2, egret 3, and a Thomas wave. So it's extended a little bit further so that it'll fit onto those. You'll notice that it's also wired up for stereo audio. This is just in case you have a stereo amplifier in your cabinet. I know that some egret 2s, you can put an aftermarket amplifier in there. We've got the classic CPS 2 and 3 kick harness. That's where the bottom rows of the buttons are sent. I rearranged the connection, or the wires, the USB cables that go out to the Xbox for controls over here, so it's out of the way and doesn't conflict. We've got the guide buttons. This is player 1 guide and this is player 2 guide. And just so you know, it was necessary to put them on the outside of the box because if I wanted to have all the buttons configurable, I would have needed 8 buttons plus start. Most control panels only have 6. So for those people who do not have a stereo amplifier, there is a mono audio amp installed inside the box with a volume knob. So the sound, the video, and the controls all go over the SCART, or the JAMMA edge. As you can see, I have a new Astro City, I've got a Blast City, and I've got a Neo 29 that I want to demonstrate this hack with. So what I'm going to do is connect it and then power on my Xbox. So one moment. So you can see JAMMA edge right here. Let's see if we can do this one-handed. Use my foot for support. Line up the pins. It's very important that you put this on correctly. I've had somebody had to return theirs to me because they put the thing on upside down. Just make sure that you are keyed on your harness and that everything is working properly. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is connected. As you can tell, it's a 4-button, so I'm not going to connect the kick harness because it doesn't have one. And I'll go ahead and turn it on. And it should be coming up, unless I turn my Xbox off. Or, oh, silly me. It would help if I plugged in the SCART. The way that I set this up is I didn't want any cables coming back this way. It makes for a huge mess. So I put the SCART socket on upside down on the side so that the cable would go along with the USB cables as well. That way you don't have any cables getting in the way of needing to press the buttons. Alright, SCART cable is connected. Now this SCART cable is kind of cheesy, so there's a good possibility. Oh, everything looks good. So you'll notice that I already had my Xbox turned on. And you can hear the sound coming over the mono. So there you go. There, I mean, there's that. It works. It looks really good on this monitor, but this monitor needs a recap. You can tell that the right there is really fuzzy. So yeah, this monitor probably should be recapped. But new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trailer, huh? I'll have to watch that later. So that's that cabinet. Now, I bet you're wondering, hey, I've got a tri-sync, but I really like to have the jail bars and scan lines for my shmups. Well, this is the perfect one for you. And if you want to go back to using a VGA cable on your tri-sync monitor, you're more than welcome to. It'll just send the video and the it'll just send the controls over JAMMA. That's it. Okay, so that's connected. Let's get the kick harness connected as well. Sorry for the shaky cam. Oh, come on, you silly thing. USB cables were in the way. Do I even have it on right side up? Okay, there we go. Okay, so, and now, so it's sending the video in 15 kilohertz to the Blast City. As you can see, it looks pretty good. Looks very sharp and whatnot. So, I want to go over a couple of things with you as far as, and you'll notice that it's not sending any audio over because I have it set up to use the RCAs. So I'm going to plug those RCAs in right now so you can hear that it does indeed have stereo. I'll plug this other one in. So listen. Can you hear that? Just to prove it to you, let's play a game. You can see those scan lines, dude. Check that out. Boom, scan lines. Good for shmups. I'll just go over the layout of the controls with you. Controls are relatively the same. We got the start button right here for first and second player. Test and service inside the control panel are the back button for start or for first player and second player respectively. We've got the controls right here, which I'll go over, up, down, left, right, and the guide buttons down there. So we'll go over controls really quick. So this is what it's looking like. The top row is XY right button, right bumper. The bottom row is AB right trigger. So I'll show you right now. So X, Y, right bumper, A, B, right trigger. And you can see that the left bumper and left trigger buttons are not assigned. If you had an 8-button panel and asked me to, I could wire them up for here and here. Oh, right here and here. So it's 8 buttons across. Most people don't, so I just don't even bother. Plus, there's some really weird wiring configurations that people have, and they use like 4 and 5 rather than kick buttons 1 and 2 with the CPS 3 for kick 3 here. So, and just to prove it to you, just show you that I don't want to see you looking at my gamer tags. but everybody knows my gamer tag here, Lemony Vengeance. I had to spell it wrong so that I could put a space in it so I didn't look like every other scrub out there. Alright. So, I'll just go over it with you again. X, Y. Oops, I bumped a button here. Right bumper. A, B, right trigger. So, and that's it for this one. This monitor, by the way, it is one of the 3 or 4 that Sega decided to put in these. It's a NAO or NANOW MS 2933. Typically there's 2930s and 2931s in these. I had lucked out and got a auto tri-sync monitor that's typically in the New Net City, so lucked out there. Oops. I'm gonna show you one more cabinet, my new Astro City. So let me get my keys to unlock the control panel, and we'll hang on one second. I gotta lift you up with the camera. Boom. Alright, so I'm gonna turn this off. Man, that was noisy. My Naomi's in there and it's still plugged in, so. Alright, so the game's still going on. I'm gonna unplug this, unplug the stereo cables, and then unplug the JAMMA, or the CPS2. Gently move my Xbox so that I have enough room to roam. And we'll move over to this cabinet and do the same thing. Nope, not long enough. That's what she said. Oh, okay. Alrighty, we got that. Hang on one more second. Gotta make sure that the pins line up. And they do. Okay, that's very important. Make sure that it's the key. If you don't have a key for your harness, please get one. It's frustrating, to say the least, when people call me up and say, hey, I put the harness on upside down and now the controllers won't work. What gives? So, alright. And you can hear the sound coming through. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. It doesn't sound as good in normal mono, but this is an MS9 monitor. It's what came stock with all of the new Astro Cities. It also came stock in, to be perfectly honest, the full name is the Nano, same manufacturer as this monitor, MS9, and it has some numbers after it, but for the most part the chassis is MS9, and that's all that should be fine. As you can see, the video, because this is a 15 kilohertz monitor, 1524 kilohertz, looks a lot better. It just absolutely is the most gorgeous thing ever. So just to show you that the buttons are the same. Oh, I must have pressed it on player 2. Okay. Go back up to controls. X, Y, right bumper, A, B, right trigger. And so I'm going to do the same thing here. X, Y, right bumper, left, or A, excuse me, B, right trigger. So, yeah, it just goes to show you, it all works. Now, if you have a really weird monitor, I haven't been able to test that, so, but it should work in just about any application. Another thing that I forgot to mention with version 2 that's really important, besides the size, because it is smaller, I've actually installed a red, green, blue, and RGB video amp in here. So it is super large, or super good. The colors just sing. It's absolutely amazing. Looks great. So I was working with some other audio or mono or video amplifiers and noticed that they would dim over time. I sat and played Scott Pilgrim vs. the World for about an hour and a half, and there was no dimming. So this is a really good application of the amplifier. But that's pretty much it. This is the VGA, or the 360 to JAMMA version 2. And of course, no Lemony Vengeance project would be complete without the mark down below. So, yeah. Anyway, that's it. Oh, also, of course, screws are sitting flush, so you can put it on a glass table and not have to worry about it scratching something. Why would you put it on a glass table? I don't know. But everything is nice and smooth on the bottom, smooth on the top, smooth as a baby's bottom. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching.